Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Wake Up American, your daily American English pronunciation show, where we help you try to get in your 5, 10 minutes of pronunciation practice. Because every single day, if your goal is to make some radical change in your pronunciation, it needs to be something that you're taking a look at every single day. Speaking is not enough. Maybe some of you have experienced that. Maybe you live in the US or an English speaking country and you're like, oh, my pronunciation will just get better just because I'm here. No, that's not. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You may have noticed, well, my speaking gets better, but my pronunciation still has some issues, right? So pronunciation takes some dedicated focus, and that's why we are here to help. And by we, I mean me. And by me, I mean Jeff. My name's Jeff. It rhymes with breath. That's one of the four keys to a natural sound in American English pronunciation, including placement, pitch, breath, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds, trying to strengthen your vowel sounds. And today we're going to be just talking about a little technique. It's a small thing, but it's something that might make your interactions with people just a little nicer and help ensure that you're conveying the right tone. Something that I see with people who have learned English a lot is w- that they are missing some of the social dynamics of pronunciation. To give an example, like once I was teaching a class, it was a difficult concept, and I had a student that wanted me to repeat something, but the way that they demonstrated that was they said, "What? What?" You know, when they really intended something more like what did you say, or can you repeat that? But the tone that they gave off again was just super firm, a little insulting, a little bit rude. But that wasn't their intention. They were just genuinely trying to get me to repeat it. And so I think when we learn a language, it can be very tricky to learn a lot of the little social linguistic cues. And so this is one I wanted to talk about. So it's going to be ways to interact with people in a way that sounds just a little friendlier, a little nicer, a little warmer, which can completely change the way people interact with you. It can completely change the way that people approach their conversation with you. This can best be demonstrated by a quick example, and one I've given before. So apologies if you've heard it already. Let's imagine that you go to a doctor's office. Or actually, before you go to a doctor's office, what do? You call a doctor's office. You give them a call, and the receptionist picks up the phone, and the receptionist says, "Doctor's office, doctor's office." There is completely nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, it's professional. It's the right words. It's everything you need it to be. The problem is that that can come off as a little bit cold. It creates a little bit of distance between the speaker and your listener. It gives the sense that maybe the speaker is not interested in their job, like they're just trying to go home. Like maybe their shift ends at 5 o'clock and it's 4:55. And they're like, "Oh no, let's take this call." Doctor's office. Like it's just not necessarily the friendliest way to open that conversation. It sounds like you don't really want to engage with me. You're doing it out of need. It's obligatory and you don't really want to continue it. How can you change this interaction? How can you make this sound a little friendlier? Well, a lot of this comes down to intonation. What we repeatedly find is that in American English, to make something sound a little friendlier, what you need to do is you need to incorporate more rising intonation into your speech. To give an example of this, the first example was doctor's office, falling intonation, office. But what if instead we use like a fall rise, a wavering intonation? We've talked about this before. That would sound something like doctor's office, doctor's office. See if you can hear a difference between those. Doctor's office, doctor's office, doctor's office, doctor's office, By using that slight rising intonation, you have immediately made things sound softer. This is something that you probably have in your first language. The first example I can think of, for instance, if you're a Mandarin speaker, there's a particle, there's the ba particle, which oftentimes by itself doesn't even mean anything. But what it does do is when you add it into a sentence, it makes something sound friendlier. It just softens things. Languages have ways of doing this. Every language has a way of doing it. In American English, what we find is it's rising intonation. Another example, let's say your wife, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, they come home and they tell you, "Hey, I have great news. I got the promotion. I got the new job." They tell that to you. And your response? Great. Good job. This is not it's just not a way of feeding into their energy. It's not a way of incorporating their emotions into your speech. Even if you're not particularly excited about it, and maybe you're thinking, that promotion, that job's going to require a lot of travel. That job means you're going to have to work later at the office. It means you're going to have to leave home earlier. It means you're not going to be able to help me with the kids. It means whatever situation may be. You're thinking all those things. So maybe you're not super excited about it. That's fine. By the way, in those sort of situations, if you need to express that frustration, cool. Falling intonation is for you. Great. Fantastic. Good job. Those convey a lot of heavy emotion. And there's a bit of antagonism and negativity with that. And maybe that's what you want to express. Conversely, maybe that's not what you want to express, but that's how you say it. In your mind, maybe you're like, oh my gosh, that's really exciting for you. I can't wait for you to start. You've wanted this for so long. If that's how you're feeling, but then you say something like, great, what's your partner going to feel? So, what we see again is we can play with the intonation to try to make this sound a little friendlier. And it's going to involve very similar things to what we did earlier. Great, great. Hey, good job. Good job. I'm excited for you. Things like this. So, what we're seeing is that the intonation starts getting a lot more movement. So, like what we had earlier. Great, great, great. So, we had like a rise fall. Great. We had like good job. Same idea. Good job. So, things like that. Adding more movement to your intonation, especially some sort of movement that goes up at some point in towards the end of your sentence, this is going to make things sound friendlier. You say good job. That's just drop, drop, fall, fall. But if you're like, good job, excellent. So what I did there, excellent. Things like that. So we're taking a lot of times our stress syllable and things like that and rising. So just kind of something to consider. You can listen, for instance, we have a shadowing channel, which you may have seen, Fluent American Shadowing. You can find that on the main channel page. And when you're listening to people, you can start paying attention to the intonation, start asking yourself, what's the emotional value that they're giving? How are they feeling? Are they feeling frustrated? Are they feeling angry? Are they excited? These are all things you can start picking up on with intonation. And again, at the end of your sentences, if you want to convey just a little bit more emotion, a little bit more excitement, a little bit of joy. Who doesn't want joy? Do you want joy? If you want to try to show some of that emotion, what you can do is incorporate some more of those rising intonations in places, those movements, right? So a lot of times it's either like a rise fall or a fall rise. Someone um, can do that with your speech. I see Emmanuel's here. Good to see you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel mentioning someone's going to sleep on the couch. Great. Fantastic. Things like that. Also, Zig Ziglar. I don't know if this is the Zig Ziglar, but good to see. Thanks for those kind of words. Yeah, so just kind of start paying attention to those intonation patterns. Start noticing them when people talk to you. People are giving you all kinds of cues when they talk to you. They're really trying to tell you how they feel about the conversation. They're like letting you know, like, oh, I want to get out of this conversation. Oh, I'm interested in this conversation. Oh, I wish you wouldn't talk to me. Oh, I hope we can talk for a lot longer. People are giving you all kinds of cues, and these sorts of intonation patterns can be one of them. All right, guys, that's all I had for you. Just a quick little thing. Start watching for those rising intonations at the end of your sentences. See if that helps you out. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if there's some situations you're confused about or that you'd like me to look at in the future. Thanks for spending some time with me. We'll be back. Today's Friday. Hey, we made it. Good job, everyone. Good job. Uh, good job. We'll see you all next week. We'll be back Monday with more Wake Up America. And you guys have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Take care.